Mr. Speaker, I feel the obligation today to give a little different perspective than probably some that I've heard in this room today. Having a couple decades experience as a law enforcement officer in the last 7 years of my life, or that career as a chief law enforcement officer of that agency. And I can tell you that one of the most taxing elements of the job was the frustration of working hard to solve some violent crime, oftentimes even putting yourself at great physical risk, only to watch these perpetrators of these offenses get let out of jail to recommit over and over and over again. It was frustrating enough to deal with the problem on my own, but the weight of the whole department was extremely heavy, for lack of a better, more descriptive word. And LEOs, law enforcement officers, enter into this line of work but knowing full well the dangers of the job, and they take them on because they have a desire to serve and protect our communities, despite some of the appalling accusations I heard today. Soft on crime legislation makes their job harder. I saw firsthand effects of the prior decriminalization efforts from this General Assembly in days past. I understand their intentions was to reduce costs and incarceration, but it had a negative effect on crime fighting. I believe that House Bill 5 will correct some of these issues and these unforeseen consequences. In particular, my personal gold star is the 3 strikes rule for violent felonies that will help create safer communities that our law enforcement officers are working so diligently to maintain. It's unimaginable to me that someone could continuously get away with violent crimes and we repeatedly release them with a pat on the wrist and no real personal accountability. I think I heard today maybe they had a bad childhood. I will cast my vote today for the resident in the neighborhood who was scared to speak to me because she didn't want to be seen talking to a law enforcement officer, so she had to whisper through her bedroom screen window. And I will cast my yet vote today for the officers who've been assaulted and injured while making an arrest, only to have the perpetrator beat them out of jail before they can complete their paperwork. I will cast my yes vote today for the victims of families that I've woken up at 3 a.m. to tell them their loved one's been killed or injured seriously. And I will cast my yes vote for the overwhelming majority of Kentuckians who are concerned with how crime affects their everyday life. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.